welcome to Let's Talk, a call-in show on the Skeptic Haven channel. Let's Talk is a safe place for atheists, those questioning or leaving religion, and anyone that wants to ask questions and have respectful discussions. From the U.S., call us at 984-400-5656. And from outside the U.S., call in from your computer using the URL that you see on the screen. Ain't technology fantastic?
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.
Oh, hey.
Caught me.
I was busy looking at something. I'm like, uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't be looking at this right now. But anyway. No, it's not that kind of thing. I'm just joking.
While we were backstage. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Neil.
No, you go. I really was just going to say, how you been?
Yeah,
I saw you like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. At the Baja Con. No, while we were setting up backstage and stuff, I texted to my lovely significant other to bring me a tea because I was already drying up in the throat, and she literally brought it in right when the opening credits were playing, and I was just like, and I was like,
told you, man, don't smoke the weed before the show, man.
I know, right? But yeah, how was your trip?
Lies.
How was your trip back from Baja Con?
Well, it was good actually. Yeah, it was. It was a direct flight, but it got delayed, so I got home like an hour and 15 minutes later than I was supposed to. So therefore, my roommate could not come and pick me up. So I did an emergency call to our good friend, Mr. Randolf Richardson, and he came and grabbed me from the airport, and I took him out for lunch the next day to say thank you. So it was a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to, well, I drove myself, right? Because I'm not all that far.
Right.
But I also dropped off, our new friend, Trevor from Believe It or Not. So we got to spend a good few hours hanging out with Trevor, and just, you know how it goes, right? When you start talking and next thing you know, it's 3 hours have gone by and you've talked the whole way. So yeah, and I couldn't even tell you what we talked about at this point. It was a good time.
Road chat.
Time. Yep.
Did you guys stop anywhere or like for food or anything like that, or no? Just drove straight
nonstop from Sarnia to Toronto, and then I had a very uneventful drive back from Toronto. Which, if you've ever been to Toronto, you know it's an absolute shit show. Traffic, like
oh yeah.
So I was prepared for the worst. Never encountered like just straight home, no traffic. Fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, no, I ended up. Here's the thing. Ollie sort of had to, I guess, a thing go with his son. So he had to leave early from the hotel. We left Monday. And he had to go and meet his son. And so that was quite early. And my flight didn't leave till like 9 something at night. And then, of course, it got delayed. So I sat at the airport for a long time. But it was all right. There's some cool people hanging out there. So we were shooting the shit and smoked a couple joints while I was waiting for the flight, and then went through the security. It was a breeze, and then set up in the waiting room area for a couple more hours. Brought out my little what do you call it, media pad, and I started watching anime and stuff like that. So it was all right. No big deal. Yeah.
So Skeptic Haven, we're like just this close from hitting 3,500 subscribers. You see that?
I did not see that. Are you kidding me?
Like there's enough people in the chat right now where if there's just a few of you aren't subscribed, you need to hit that subscribe button now. And if you are all subscribed, well, thank you for starters. But you've got to have like an alt account or a friend that owes you a favor. Just be like, yo, come over here and hit the subscribe button, and let's get this thing to 3,500 before this stream ends. In fact, I don't want to leave until we hit 3,500.
Is that the goal for tonight? Bring Skeptic Haven up to 3,500.
I just wanted to see if I could I just wanted to see if I could hold you hostage over the internet without having any actual control over you. but anyways, yeah, like call your friends and create a YouTube account for your dog or something if you have to, and then come on over and hit subscribe.
Let's see what I can do here. Let's see.
I don't actually want people to use your alt accounts. That's kind of like cheating, but
I'm already subscribed on one of my alt accounts. Let's see if the other one is. What do you mean it's cheating? Screw that. It's not cheating.
I didn't say it was exactly cheating. I just said it's kind of like. But still,
Well,
you could hit that like button in the meantime while you're on your way over to that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. But yeah, so for anyone out there who didn't know, a couple weeks ago I got to see Neil again at the Baja Con, which we were talking about our trips home from there, and it was a great time. Got to see some people I didn't even expect to see, like Eric from Skeptic Haven was there. That was a nice treat.
threw me for a loop, man.
Yeah. The other thing that threw me for a loop, like not knowing he was going to be there, was how tall he was. I did not because to see him online, you don't think he's a very tall guy or a very big guy, right? Like, and yeah, he's as tall as I am, which is crazy. Because I'm always, I feel like, and you're a tall guy too, so you probably feel the same way. We're usually the tallest guys in the room. But then Eric, who I've never met in person before, walks in and it's like, holy crap, hi, how you doing?
Well, yeah. I mean, I did sort of feel like it's weird having to slightly look like almost eye level or maybe a little bit higher for me.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm always looking, down at people.
Yeah.
Except in your cases, we're almost pretty much eye level, you and I. But
yeah. Well, then you got the horns on, which make you a foot and a half taller still. But yeah, it was nice to see some surprise faces there, for sure. And then Vice Rhino is always nice to see too.
Oh, seeing Justin, yeah, that guy cracks me up so much, man. He's so funny. Neil likes looking down on people. Thanks, Ollie. AJ says, did Justin get a new setup? His camera looked sharp.
Yeah. Justin spent like a lot of money on a brand new camera and a really nice lens. Like, this was the old camera, just to put in perspective, this was the old camera. I've upgraded from this to like a proper DSLR mirror Canon camera. So if anybody's in the market for a camera, but yeah, thank you.
What's wrong with that one?
Absolutely nothing, except for apparently you can tell the difference between this camera and what I'm using now, which justifies the purchase. Just AJ commenting on that, just like the guilt had just washed away for the money. I'm just happy.
Nice.
Yeah. But now that just means you can see this hair in the back of my head that won't stay down.
I don't have that problem.
But anyways, I didn't see the subscriber count thing move yet. So if anyone out there has a friend that owes a favor, or if you got, blackmail is an option here. We're that close. Like, if you can blackmail somebody for a subscription, go get them.
I already checked all my alternate accounts. I have like 4 different accounts on YouTube, and they're already subscribed to Skeptic Haven. So,
all right.
Yeah.
And then also, I've been getting into the Lego now because of you, apparently. I'm blaming you. I gotta blame somebody, so I'll just blame you.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why that would be, huh? It's not like I have any Lego hanging around everywhere, and
I even got like a free gift Lego they sent, like this little
GWPs. Yeah.
You can.
Oh, the build-up baby. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was kind of cool. That filled an hour. That was like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, I got a few of them. I had Castaway Bob, GWP. I had a little boy in his bedroom turning his bed into a spaceship. That one's kind of cool.
Okay.
And what else did I get? Oh, Alien Diner. Comes with little space dudes in it. I love the space dudes. When I was a kid, I was all about the space sets. So I've literally purchased whatever space sets they relaunched the space line via Lego City. So I got all the fucking space sets except for 2 of them I'm missing. So I'll get those at some point.
All right. Well, enough with the small talk. Let's rile up the beehive a little bit. What do you think about what's going on with the CDC over there in the stateside and their whole their COVID vaccine mandates,
Oh
or
my
not the
goodness.
mandates, rather the lack thereof? Have you heard about this for starters?
Yeah, like they're what? They want to stop them? Like
No,
no
they've stopped.
more?
They've stopped them.
Wh-
So now they're
Why?
only the vaccine is only available for seniors or people with underlying health conditions. Um, you now have a whole lot of begging and pleading and red tape if you as a healthy individual wants the vaccine shot. And then at that point you have to pay for it. So it's yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I'll tell you where
Like,
my mind went first.
Literally
Just to
like
give
a
you
flu shot. So I don't understand what their whole
yeah,
deal
it's
is.
so silly. But I'll tell you where my mind went first. Um, the fact that like 90% of us Canadians live within like an hour of the US border. You know, if more than half of Americans are no longer able to get access to the COVID shot, what's that going to mean for like, American tourists coming over here? Are we just
Mhm.
gonna, can we mandate that they should have these shots to come here? Um, won't that weaken our herd immunity in that case too? Like, doesn't that put us in danger just by proximity?
I'm not that concerned about it because I get the boosters when they come out. Because of course, like any other virus of its kind, it mutates, right? So
Right.
you're gonna have version this, version that, and just like they do every year with the flu shot, where they put the most prominent strains in the shot, they do that with the COVID too. They just give you a booster for the updated COVIDs that are out there. So, and I'm already up to date, so I'm not too worried about it. They're
Right.
idiots down there, like the fucking idiots that they allow to run the medical system. That RFK Jr.
Insane.
guy is dangerous, and I
Um,
hate to say it, but he needs to go.
John
His
Hudson
brain worm
says that
tells him what to
that
do, yeah.
COVID is running rampant again in Texas right now, apparently.
Oh, great,
Um,
great.
do you,
Stay safe, John.
does AJ or anyone else who's in Texas find that to be true? Like, is that real? Because yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
terrifying. But I mean, yeah, you're right. RFK Jr. needs to go. Like, he is
Yeah,
no position. No, he's no business being in that position.
not as
On
an
the other
anti.
hand, though, some of the CDC people who have like turned around and just decided to like leave
Mm-hmm,
after the main person got fired. Like, talk about integrity.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's happened quite a bit when they've done something in departments. Other people are like, well, you know what? You guys are getting rid of the experts in the fields. Fuck you, I'm out of here too. So and I don't blame them, because I wouldn't want to be stuck there in a system that is literally so bad that it could end up killing half of your fucking people.
Yeah. I did a little bit of looking into it and research, and already by June, right? So for the first 6 months of 2025, there were more Americans asking to come to Canada between January and June than all of 2024.
Really?
Yeah. Um,
Wow.
yeah, they were seeking what's the term, the word again when you're just seeking
Asylum?
asylum. Yeah, they're not just trying to get like, they're asking for asylum. So apparently
Yeah.
it is a thing that some Americans have done, seeking asylum in Canada from America. The number is super small. Like, we're talking like 300 people total in all of 2024. But we hit
Mhm.
300 people in June in 2025 of Americans
Wow.
seeking asylum, because I don't think immigrating to Canada from America would necessarily be that difficult. I realize right now
not.
Canada's got like a huge freeze on immigration, but
Mhm.
of all the countries that could immigrate, America's got to be the easiest one to immigrate from.
Well, yeah, because we're neighbors, right? And
Yeah, and a
it's
lot of our things are,
unfortunate.
yeah, everything from a driver's license to other things are pretty identical, even though we are far apart in a lot of other things.
Yeah, well, currently, anyways, for sure. It's. I think it would be easier from somebody from the U.S. to probably immigrate here than, say, overseas or something like that. Maybe not so much England, because English people don't usually have an issue immigrating here.
Yeah,
Um,
Australians too. They usually don't have too
yeah,
much trouble.
yeah. Most Europeans don't have too much trouble. Actually, we're pretty easygoing when it comes to immigration, to be honest.
Yeah, in fact,
As long as you can
the proof is in the
your
pudding.
part.
We were a little too easy, even because
Well, I don't even know, but if it say too easy. It's not like we don't have enough fucking room up here.
we got space. We just don't have the buildings. That's the. But that's coming around. As someone who's actively in the housing market right now, I can tell you that the prices are plummeting, which is a little concerning because at the same time that means that my house price is dropping too. But my next home, I'm looking at getting some real decent space. So I'm kind of, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, we got to do that too. Yeah. As you can tell, with my boxes of Lego piling up over there,
you need a second building just for the Lego.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ear infection is worse than COVID. I've had an ear infection. And you know what? I almost agree with that, but the ear infection I had wasn't going to kill me. But COVID could possibly do that.
Yeah, I won't. What is your point, Snagglepuss? I'm confused right now. Are you saying COVID isn't as bad as an ear infection? I mean, I've had ear infections a lot when I was a child, and I had COVID. And I'll take an ear infection twice before I get COVID once. Please. Ear infections are annoying and painful, but I could still function. I had.
Oh no, man! I'll take COVID over tooth pain any day of the week.
Oh really?
Oh, tooth pain sucks, dude.
I don't know. Maybe I got lucky.
I'm kidding.
I had tooth pain, and I just went to the dentist same day. Literally called them and was like, "My tooth hurts," and they went, "Come on over here. I'll show you something." And he showed me a pair of pliers, and I was out in 20 minutes.
A pair of pliers.
Well, I was lucky because I guess as we mature, some of our teeth develop hooks around our jaws, and that's where usually you have to get surgery to get these teeth out. These
luckily
teeth
mine didn't.
The teeth that I had were deformed and never never got the hook. So he was just like, "Yeah, yours are easy. Just come here," and he just pulled them out.
Yeah, the dental surgeon I had just went in there, went and done. I had to get two taken out at the same time, so it was pretty easy.
And the total cost was the gas. That was the best part.
But, I think I paid. Let's see, for all the dental work that I had done recently. Well, over a year ago now. I think my total cost, after most of it was covered by dental and whatnot, was about $240. That's it.
Okay. Nice.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
So we need some callers, guys. Why don't you call in and say hi? And we don't even, the topic is, does God exist? I mean, I have my answer for that one. And I also, by the way, I would like to share with you guys. Of course, we're jumping back into Lego here now, but 1 second. I know. Fucking deal. It is Lego.
This is no longer a call-in show about God. This is just like what Justin and Neil do for fun.
Hold on. Doing promo work for Lego. You hear that, Lego?
Yeah.
I want some freebies.
But
anyway, this is the minifigure vending machine that Lego produced a little while ago. And what I'm going to do is, if you're because most Christians that will say that God is all knowing. Okay, if you want me to believe that God exists, then ask your God to tell me which minifigure is going to come out of that box when I put my and I've been using the term shekels. Put a little 10 shekel piece in there, and turn the crank. If you can guess it, if God can tell me which one is coming out of there, and then one more to confirm it, then I'll be a believer.
Wow, those are some pretty low odds, frankly. Wow, I would need a little bit more evidence than that. If your God could do all of that and make it glow, I'll believe.
And make it glow, yeah. Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, seriously, it wouldn't be easy to tell you which one's coming out of there because I'm not telling you what kind of figures are even in there.
Right.
10 shekels, Neil's loaded. No, I lived in Israel. 10 shekels ain't that much.
As someone who bought his first Lego set recently and knows how many sets Neil has, yeah, he's loaded. Dude must have 6 figures worth of Lego over there, I swear.
Probably.
It was not cheap,
somewhere in
but
there.
man, it was great. It was a good time.
Oh yeah, the Falcon cost me $1,000, dude. So
Yeah, I'm looking to spend the same on it right now.
yeah, do it before it gets retired.
Yep. Yeah. How about the good old everyone's favorite topic, Canadian politics? You see Pierre Poilievre
Oh
got his
yeah,
butt
that's my
back into
favorite
Parliament.
topic. Yep, yeah, in Alberta because
Yep.
nobody else wanted him.
And now Alberta's talking book ban. Have you seen this?
Yes. Like, what the fuck
I
is
know.
wrong with these people?
Crazy.
Like, what? Never in history have the people that have burned books been the good guys. Never.
Never. Nope. I've seen Footloose. They did not win.
No.
Did I just
Wes
date
is
myself?
like,
It's
anything
like
but
you and I are the
Canadian
only ones laughing
politics.
at that joke right now.
That's okay. We get it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Alberta was a little bit, a lot conservative, but that's like to me a whole new level of extreme for Canada. I feel.
Yeah. That's first. Yeah, John Hudson calls it Upper Texas.
Yeah.
Well, it is Alberta. True
Yeah.
enough. Upper Texas. It's our y'all state or our province. I mean, although
Yeah.
they'd like to be a state, I'm pretty sure. Looks
so I
like
guess
we do have a call.
okay, sweet.
Let me just check in the private chat.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, they've got like over 200 books on the list that they want to remove before students go back to school this Tuesday. And and every time I see a video about it, I put in the comments, I'm like, well, I guess this will include the Bible then, right? Because that book's got some terrible stuff in it.
Yep. Yeah. That's all you gotta do is you say, oh, you want to get rid of the books, the ones that have like sexual stuff in it and rape and all that stuff and murder and everything. Well, then you got to get rid of the Bibles.
Yeah, well, some of the books that on Alberta's list are like some classics too. Like they're not just like, modern help books, or LGBTQ central. They're some of them are like, the classics that almost every school teaches.
Like Wuthering Heights or something, isn't that on there?
Yeah, I think Catcher in the Rye. I think
Catcher. That one shocked me, but there is a part in the book where he touches himself. So
I went to a French school, so unfortunately, I never got to read any of these. No,
I read it. It's a fun little romp, I guess.
When you go to a French Catholic school, English classes basically will read the book that there's a movie attached to it, so we can do the movie too, so that everybody will understand. So
sweet.
Yeah, so we did Animal Farm and then watched the Animal Farm movie.
Oh yeah, the movie was terrible, but the book is great.
Yeah, at least there was a movie.
True enough.
That's a
I know being screened. I know. I'm not going to take the call until you tell me I can.
It's all right. I think you and I are riffing pretty good. We can probably just keep going. So
Yeah,
Mega Blocks, pro, cons. I mean, I'm just joking.
I know that currently Mega Blocks has the license for Pokemon.
Yes,
but
they still haven't used it right though.
I know, right?
None of the sets look any good at all.
However, now that Lego has made these, hang on a second here. Why is my fucking I have fat ass fingers here? Okay, hang on. Come here. Now that Lego has made these,
yeah,
there's already a rumor that they're going for the Pokemon license, so these can be like Pokeballs.
Oh, okay,
mini Pokemon figures.
All right. I mean, they're a superpower. They can have whatever they want, basically, like EA.
Yeah.
Right? They want it, they'll get it.
Well, for years, Lego wasn't allowed to have the license or the rights for doing Star Trek stuff,
right?
Because of George Lucas and Star Wars, right? Because they wanted Star Wars. That's one of the reasons they stopped making the space sets too. Because Lucas is like, hey, listen, if you're going to do ours, then we want to be the only space themed set that you run right now. And that contract ran out. And though they renewed to keep producing Star Wars stuff, that caveat is no longer part of it. So it's why they're able to now relaunch the space line through Lego City. And they're now going to be doing Star Trek ships.
Oh, that'll be very exciting. I look forward to it.
Apparently, the first one will be the Enterprise D, and you're going to get a gift with purchase of one of the shuttles, I think Galileo or something like that, with a Rolaren figure in it, which should be pretty cool.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, we had a brief chat about this where when the DS9
yeah.
set comes out, let me know.
Woo, Star Trek.
Why would you get a uniform that only gives you commander? Why wouldn't you go full captain?
Because my buddy wanted to be captain. I was like, okay, you can be captain.
So then you just go admiral. Like, why?
Dude, we were carried away with the shit. We used to all live together in the house, and I was a commander. My friend Todd was a lieutenant. My friend Todd was a captain. My friend Rob was a lieutenant. And we all lived in this house together, and it was on a road called Afton. And so the address was 3377. So we were the crew of the USS Afton, NCC 3377. So we got right into the whole lore thing there.
Are all Canadians descendants of fur trappers? No.
No.
But Canada is built on them, on fur trappers.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to see a quirky, funny movie? Watch, was it Hundreds of Beavers or Thousands of Beavers? Whatever the fuck it's called. It's very quirky.
Is it the one with the vampire beavers? Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
The zombie beavers. Sorry, it was zombie beavers.
No.
Oh. Have you seen that one? That one's crazy.
Is it hundreds? Yeah, Hundreds of Beavers. This is a 2022 film. It's got a lot of great. It's done like old school black and white. Some stop motion stuff in there. To give you an idea, there's a scene from it right there where these guys are in beaver suits, and it's hysterical.
Just be careful googling the word beaver. All right, you can get into it.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like. That's the movie poster right there for it. Hundreds of Beavers. It's all about fur trapping and stuff like that. It's very funny.
There is one about zombie beavers where these kids all go to a cabin.
Zombeaver, it's called.
Is it? There you go. Yeah, and that is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
I have not seen it because I looked at it and read the title and went, there's no fucking way I'm watching this.
It's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. I think we have a call, Neil.
Oh, do we? Excellent. All right.
That's what the big words on the screen just told me.
Looks like there's more calls. Okay. Take call now. Steve is ready, it says. Why are we getting rid of him? Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. Here we go. I will be taking. This is Steve from. Didn't say. He's Catholic. Wants to talk about Aquinas' argument for God.
Not necessarily just Aquinas, just deductive reasoning for the existence of. Doesn't necessarily have to be the Catholic God. It can be just God in general.
So, from
what I understand, you guys said that you're Canucks.
Yes, we are, and I'm a Canucks fan.
Okay, excellent. So, yeah. Okay, yeah, I was a retired Army guy. I was stationed up at Washington State. I did a lot of joint operation stuff with Canadian soldiers. Great guys.
Nice, very cool. So I was actually born to Catholics,
and I was raised Catholic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mm-hmm. I was put up for adoption at birth because you know Catholics, and they're pretty strict if you're not married and you have kids. And I think my biological father, who I've met my family, by the way, I think my biological father was afraid of what his mom would say if he knew that he was having sex outside of wedlock. So they put me up for adoption, and I was raised in a Jewish home.
Interesting. That I almost had the exact opposite experience. My mom was Jewish, and my dad was a Southern Baptist, and I went to seminary to go get my reverendship, and then I converted to Catholicism after learning about the history of the church and the teleological question and all the other good stuff. But yeah, they're very familiar with Jewishness in the American sense anyway. Very polite people, but very tribal, very insular. They don't like outsiders. They were not crazy about my father, so.
The odd thing I think is in Judaism, many of the more, I want to say fundamental Jew, like the Hasidic or ultra religious, don't mind outsiders. So it's kind of weird that the ultra religious ones are more on the line of being okay with outsiders being around in their neighborhoods and whatnot. But I find a lot of the conservative or reform section of Judaism tend to be a little bit of, the goyim, as they call them, right? Don't let them around you. So,
well, that's the Talmud. That's what rabbinical Judaism is based off of.
Right.
That's what they call them.
So, yeah.
They call them other than, or that they're animals.
Yeah.
But that's not most Jewish people. Most Jewish people, or at least the ones I know, they're in Long Island in New York, and they want their kids to go to a good school, and they're nice people. They don't know.
Sure,
they don't know anything about the Talmud and Yeshua and all this other stuff.
Sure. So you decided to convert to Catholicism. Can I ask what made you do that?
Yes, sir. So I was put into my first semester of seminary, and one of the classes that they have you take is history of the church, which is a very odd class for a Protestant seminary course to elect for their candidates to do. Raise more questions than it did answer them. And I am always, just like you guys, I'm always skeptical. I want to know the answer. I always want to go down these rabbit holes, and I love to read. And long story short, I realized how the early church fathers set up the church, and this version of Jesus, from me actually reading scripture as opposed to it being told to me, that was completely different. And I said, how come we don't do the Eucharistic rite? How come we don't do any of these things? Where does the Southern Baptist version of Christianity come from? And I never got a good answer. But I did read Matthew 16:18, and it said there, without a doubt, in the Septuagint, which is the original version of the Greek translation of the Bible from the Council of Nicaea, it said, hey, you, Simon, you're Peter, rock, Kephas, and on this rock I will build my church. I give you the keys. And as you probably already know, Catholics believe that St. Peter is the first bishop of Rome, so he's the first pope. So that authority is given to him, but Jesus Christ is the only version of the Christian church that can make that claim. Orthodox can't either. They're very close, but they can. No sect of Protestantism can either. So I said, I got to convert. So I did.
That's all it took to convince you to convert over?
Well, I mean, it also had to do with compelling arguments made by the early church fathers and the doctors. I read Confessions by St. Augustine. It's very compelling. He has a story that is very relatable to a lot of people, is that for the first, 30, 35 years, he's kind of a schlub in his life. And his mother begged him to turn away from living this life of materialism and debauchery. And he finally does. It took him a long time, but he did. And then he became this great philosopher and trailblazer of the early church. And he writes in his Confessions all these terrible things that, he did, and that was never satisfying. He just had this God-sized hole in his heart. He said, I can't explain it materialistically or empirically, but it does exist. But I did do all of these things. But whenever I made peace with the Lord, this seemed to be what this life here is all about. So I read that, and that was very touching and heartwarming. And then also just actually reading the Bible for myself, as opposed to someone telling me what it says. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, I've read it.
Yeah,
old and new.
The first question I have instantly when you say that even is,
you reading it.
How do you justify or get over all of the contradictions? Just outright, for me, that's usually my first problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a fair criticism. I would say that it's not a theory. It's not a empirical method. Like, you're not going to find that. If you're looking for that in the Bible, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Like, this is why it's called a faith and not a field of study.
Yeah, it's called faith because it's not knowledge.
A lot of the stories are meant to be like, you either believe or you don't. Like, even people's disbelief in God, they'll fill that with something else. They think that it's basically like the opposite of that is like rationality, or like man's ability to be able to reason. But it's a belief in that too. What they believe in that too is very personal and very intimate.
At some point,
it's not completely deductive.
But at some point, you either got to take it like literally, or it's either like literal or not. So, like, for example, do you think there was a world flood?
Yes.
Or do you do? Okay, so that's not just a story of metaphor for you then. That actually happened.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you define metaphor. Like, did God literally flood the earth? Well, I mean, it depends on how you contextualize it and how you want to read it. And have, like me, for instance, I think that God flooded the earth. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of different, I don't have it right in front of me, but there's a whole bunch of different archaeological evidence to say that this happened. It wasn't just from the Bible. The Epic of Gilgamesh from ancient Mesopotamia said that this happened too. There's a whole bunch of evidence out there for people who do want to know it.
Sure,
but
two stories are very different.
That's metaphorical too.
Also,
I'm sorry.
In my field, which is chemistry, but that's has nothing to do with the flood or anything. But I know people in fields that are into archaeology and stuff like that, and according to the ones that I know, there's zero evidence for a global flood, like none whatsoever.
In fact,
there
there's
would be
evidence against the possibility of such a flood.
Well, first of all, plants wouldn't be able to exist now. The combination of salt and fresh water would have killed everything in the ocean. That wasn't, at least to some degree, able to survive in what we call brackish water. And there's a few species that can. The only thing that probably would have survived that would have been jellyfish, because apparently they're like the cockroaches of the sea and they can survive anything. But it wouldn't. It's not possible for. We would have to literally. You'd have to suck all the water out of the earth, and even with that, it's not possible to completely flood the earth so the mountaintops are covered. There isn't enough water here to do that. And I get that the Bible has a sort of an answer for that, where so it was sucked back out of the firmament or whatever the fuck. But as far as I know, and far as the archaeologists and geologists, that I know, it's just not possible.
For me, it's pandas.
Pandas and sloths.
Like, we put some pandas on the ark. They have such a specific diet of basically just bamboo, flat out. I don't care where you say the ark finished its journey. There is no.
I'm not saying anything about the ark or the flood. This is you guys saying this.
Well,
right.
Okay.
You're the one who's told us that you believe that the flood happened.
Right.
Well, yeah, I said it depends on the lens in which you're viewing it too. I mean, obviously, the name of the show is skepticism, or Kings of Skeptic, or whatever. I don't mean to be crass about that, but
it's fine. I feel like your lens allows you to pick and choose which things you want to believe in.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. I feel like your lens is allowing you to pick and choose which things in the Bible you want to choose to believe in, then, right? Because, like, you believe Jesus existed.
No.
Right?
I don't believe you can choose your beliefs.
No, I
you're
can
either
see
convinced of
how
something or you're not.
But what it is to say that all of these things, and you're talking about the Old Testament, right?
Yeah.
This is the Old Testament. So you're talking about like Noah and the flood, and like Genesis.
Yeah, but I'm also suggesting that without the Bible, you couldn't prove the existence of Jesus either. So, you're taking that lens and you're deciding that. So there you go. So you just said
there's actually a recent study on it proving its luminosity. That's just one. But I mean, like, we also had historians, Josephus, Tacitus. They all talked about the historical.
Josephus and Tacitus weren't even born when Jesus died. So scrub those guys.
They're going off of hearsay.
Yeah.
Josephus wasn't there right after Pilate.
No. All Josephus did was report that Christianity was becoming popular. That's basically all he did, was say that this story of this guy named Jesus was, becoming all the rage, and there's more people believing in him. That's basically what that person did. And even then, that wasn't written for like 50 or 80 years or something after the supposed death of Jesus.
Also, wasn't some of Tacitus's work considered to be forged?
I only know un petit peu about this topic specifically, thanks to David Fitzgerald and his
Fair
books. But yeah, like this, so a lot of the things that Steve just brought up here, we already know that these people could not be eyewitnesses to the life of Jesus. So yeah, so if you want to put aside Old Testament, we can still talk about anything that Jesus did in his lifetime was never reported on during his lifespan, or there is no record of it until years after.
Hello?
Yeah, we're still
Yeah,
here.
we got you here.
Yep.
Hey, sorry, you cut out there for like a whole 5 minutes. We're
Oh, wow,
yelling
sorry.
at each other about Josephus and Tacitus.
Oh, I wouldn't say we were yelling, but I'm just saying we know, like, for example, Josephus wasn't even born when Jesus was crucified, supposedly crucified. And all he did was report that Christianity was becoming popular. The story of Jesus was catching on. He never said anything about it being true or that he met Jesus or any of that. So,
Neither Josephus
That's
or
not what he
Tacitus.
says, but we'll leave it up to the audience to decide. If you want to know, then go out and look. Josephus's letters 2 and 3c. It talks about him It talks about him and his Jewish compatriots who were fighting against the Romans at the time, how they were leaving there, and how Yeshua is what they called Jesus. Was this guy who was hanging out with these hippie sort of versions of Jews over there, and how he used to go around and he used to do all these miracles and all these other things. So we'll leave that up to them though to decide.
those letters you talked about were like 90 years after his supposed death. So I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, not true.
Okay, so no, Flavius Josephus was not alive during Jesus' lifetime. But his life did overlap with the period. Well, it is true. This is coming right out of Bible scholar stuff here. So, but his life overlapped with the period after Jesus' crucifixion, allowing him to write about him later in his historical works. Jesus died around 30 to 33 AD, while Josephus was born in 37 AD and lived until about 100 AD.
Have you read about the Shroud of Turin and the recent study on that?
Yeah, I know that it's been debunked.
I just saw an entire 3-hour live show of people debunking that thing like 2 weeks ago on a show called Bad Science Sunday.
Yeah, they just recently did one saying that the luminosity that comes, it wouldn't have even been possible for them to make a forgery from whenever it was created, which was at the same time that it was discovered around the 4th century.
No one said they had to make a forgery. They may have just found something with some imprints on it that looked like what they imagined Jesus would have looked like and claimed that it was him. So not necessarily be a forgery. It was just mistaken identity.
No, I mean, they could not have even been able to do that, is what the study was saying. If you were being objective about it, you might come back to the church.
No, I was never a part of the church, so why the hell would I go back?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic, but I spent my whole life trying to get away from it.
Then you would come back and see what the church has to offer. But anyway, I mean, this is neither tit nor tat about that. Like I said, what you believe is very personal and very intimate. And it's the same thing with me and God and my Lord and Jesus and what you guys believe. The difference ultimately too is there a teleos? Is there a meaning behind human life? Do we have a prescription for things that we are supposed to do or are not supposed to do based off of our nature and our orientation in the universe? You guys have a problem with that absence, a God who is all-knowing, all good, and who is derived away from evil. Because the best you can say without that is that I believe this is good. I believe this is bad. Well, who cares what you think, or who cares what this is bad.
I actually don't have a problem with this at all.
You to like a moral question.
My first point to make here, based on the starting of what you said, is life is a side effect. Sorry to tell you, life is just what happened to our planet, given the conditions. That's
correct.
Done, right?
Oh, it's like the Big Bang thing.
Well,
Big
no,
Bang is not
that's not what I'm talking about.
Genesis.
I'm talking about life on our planet. Only life on this planet is a side effect.
It's the only life we know of so far.
Of the conditions that were provided here on this planet, right? So given the temperatures and liquid water and oxygen and many
formula and
things.
chemicals coming from asteroids and comets. We know that's a fact now.
Yep. And to quote Jurassic Park,
where does morality come from? How come you feel morality bad when you steal and whenever you
first
lie?
of all,
explain that to me on paper.
First of all, Steve, morality is fluid. It's always been fluid. It has changed throughout the history of humankind.
It's fluid for you because
it's always fluid, period. There's no for me or for you. It's always been fluid, period. There was a time when you could kill somebody that stole your food or whatever, but we frown upon that now, right? We frown upon certain things that we never used to frown on. As a matter of fact, the Bible itself promoted things that we frown upon now, like rape, murder, right?
Slavery.
Really, where did it say to rape anybody in the Bible? Show that to me.
How about when Lot's daughters got him drunk and then raped him?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, Lot's daughters got him drunk.
Is that
that's in the Bible?
The Lord said to Lot's daughter to rape him.
Well, I don't know if he told them to, but that's what happened, and it's in the Bible.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That didn't happen.
It did. Well, according to the book,
it's in the Bible. So you have to
decide.
It's
historical.
You have to apply your lens to it and decide whether or not it's a true story.
I didn't say it was historical. I said it depends on the lens in which you view it and the way that you want to understand it.
Well, the text says they got their dad drunk, and
there was a church before there was a Bible. So where does that come from?
There was temples before there was churches.
It comes from the Lord.
Yeah, well,
there was mosques before there was churches. So
no, mosques were much later.
In the 7th century,
synagogues,
600 years after Christianity.
The Jewish temples.
That's when Islam came around.
Yeah, Zoroastrianism predates all of them.
Nice try, though.
I mean, my whole thing is,
if I was Islamic, I would be arguing that my religion was older than yours. So
it's not, but anyway.
Well, yeah, of course they would, because they're crazy guys who were screaming Allahu Akbar, firing Kalashnikovs into a cave. I know, I fought with them.
Okay. Yeah. So how come their religion is false and yours isn't?
Well, because Christ is the Logos. Christ is the rational principle of the universe that has come down.
Christ is the Word of God? Is that what
in flesh.
Logos means like Word of God or words from God's mouth or something like that. So
no.
Yeah.
No, it means the rational principle of the universe. In the beginning, there was Logos. That was the original Greek translation of the book of John.
Logos meaning, let's see, in theology, the Word of God, the principle
meaning
of
the rational principle.
Yep, yep. The Gospel of John. Yep.
Yeah, they said the beginning was the Word, but
that doesn't prove anything.
Word, so they say again.
I said that doesn't prove anything, though. It proves you believe that's the case.
Well, it does, because, again, like I said, what you believe is very personal and very intimate. I think the moral law is written on your heart. You could, tit for tat.
There's nothing written on my heart.
Writing
things on your heart is a very dangerous thing to do.
Even if it's something that's good.
The heart is a muscle that pumps blood through your body.
Lord.
The heart is just a muscle that pumps blood through your body. It also carries some neurons, like your brain.
That is
I'm
true.
dead serious.
But like the fact, well, I mean, like the fact that you like see the world through that lens, I feel is just sad.
Why is it sad?
So, like, we're just all like floating around this blue marble. Like, what would be the difference
Yeah.
then if I just go up to you and shoot you in the head? That would mean nothing. You're just a bundle of cells.
Yeah, well, I am a bundle of cells. I'm made up of molecules and cells that came from multiple different star clusters. Stars had to
You're
explode for
more
me to
than
be
that,
alive.
man. And you're a smart guy. Don't say that.
And you would also be taking away the
But
only life we
that's
know
the
for sure
truth.
he's going to have. So
Yes.
I would argue my morality says let him have the one life he's got, to live it to his fullest, to complete as many Lego sets as his bank account will allow.
Also, if it
well,
also,
that's all
Steve,
you do
listen.
have. Though. There's nothing.
Listen.
There's nothing teleological or cosmologically binding you to that morality. That's the problem. That's been the
I told
problem.
you, morality has been fluid since our inception, since humans have been around. It's changed over time. Certain things were thought to be morally superior, and now different things are thought to be morally superior, because the ultimate point of morality, or even just ethics in general, is do the least amount of harm while you're here, right? That's the way I look
No,
at
that's
it.
utilitarianism. That's a Bentham thing, and that wasn't
Doesn't
around
matter.
until the 19th
To
century.
me, that is a moral superiority. Okay, do what you can
Based
to
off
have
of
the
what,
best life you can,
again,
and harm
it's
as
based
few
off of
people
what
as you can.
you think. It's not grounded in anything outside of this world. It's materialist.
Grounded in my head.
Materials. It's
Doesn't
fine.
need to be grounded
Sure.
anywhere else. Morality and ethics are all human constructs, period.
And then if we want to ground them a little bit further, anytime my morality matches up with Neil's morality, we now have a stronger
Semi-objective, yeah.
force to enforce that morality as far as to whether or not stealing is wrong or murder is wrong and things of those. And then, that's
Why
where
are those things wrong, by the way?
for me
Why
it
are they
basically comes
harmful?
for me
What
it
does it mean
basically comes
wrong?
down to I wouldn't want anybody to do it to me.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want it done to you?
Because I
Because this
don't
is
want
the
to
only
die.
life I know I'm going to have. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not ready. I'm not going to go until it's my time to go. Right.
I'm not going
Naturally.
until every last hair on my head is white. I'm staying until that happens.
Wait. Oh, I don't have that long to go then.
No, well, you're wearing a bandana. I couldn't really see it. I like the fact too that you have a straight bandana. It's not. It's not like crinkled up, man. Like you like take care of it. You wear it with dignity.
He's complimenting like
full-
how perfectly you've got the lines. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
that takes
Yeah.
a little effort, but it can be done.
yeah, he's always had that.
You wear it well.
I'd be interested,
appreciate
Steve.
that.
I'd like to take your same question and just flip it around on you.
Well, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
If it takes something like a deity like God to keep you from doing those things, then you're not a good person. You're just a shitty human on a leash.
Good. Can you say that last part again? You're breaking up.
I'm sorry. If it takes something like a God with his moral system to keep you from doing those things like murder, rape, stealing, whatever, then you're not a good person. You're a bad person on a leash.
Well, from the Catholic perspective, and I don't want to speak for all Catholicism, I'm not like a theology, aficionado or anything, is that we're all born with original sin. We're all predisposed
I think
to,
that's
at
horrendous.
some point in time, be more geared toward these things that are selfish, these things that are evil. But like we have a clear dividing line of things that are good and evil because we have an omnipotent God who lets us know. But he also loves us enough to let us make the choice. However, there is a clear boundary between the two. There is no gray area. You can choose to follow or to not follow, and that's up to you.
There's
But
so
there
many
is no gray
things.
area anymore.
There's so many things in what you just said that we've addressed 1,000 times, and I'm sure we're going to address them again. But before we move on, I'd still like to get the question I had out real quick. Your question was like, why do I care if I die? And my answer was because this is the only life that I know I'm going to have. If I flip that question around to pose it back at you, if you were to get sick or injured, why do you seek medical attention?
Why do I seek medical attention?
Yeah, why not just let yourself unfortunately expire? I don't wish this on you, Steve. That's not what I'm saying. But why not just be like, oh man, I'm gonna bleed out. That's okay. I'll be with God soon enough. Why bother with getting better?
Or getting help.
Well, because number one, like you, I don't want to feel pain if I can help it, and I have too. I got. I don't want to turn this into like a PTSD thing, but I was downrange a couple of times. I've gotten hurt a couple of times. It's a very hard thing to be able to explain, but like as a human being, you are vulnerable too. You're not perfect. But it's in the pursuit of trying to do the best that you can do. Why should I just endure pain and then die?
Well, I didn't necessarily mean pain. I mean, we could.
Some people do, though.
Yeah, we could create a scenario here. I don't want to get too gruesome with it, where like perhaps you're not in pain, but if you don't get medical help, if you don't see a doctor, you're still going to die. My point is that I feel sometimes like theists feel like this life is just the waiting room where you just wipe your feet before the real life begins.
That's a very Gnostic view. I understand I understand where that comes from, though. You're not wrong. I've heard that a lot. That's like this life doesn't matter, and what matters is like what Plato would call like the ethereal realm. That's not, at least not a Catholic.
Then, do we not at least come to the same? Do we not at least come to like agreeing then that this life matters to both of us, to you and to me and to Neil?
Certainly.
Okay.
This call is being recorded.
Then live the best life that you can. Treat others with dignity and respect as much as you can. Try and do as good things as much as you can and leave a little bit of a legacy behind, because honestly, no one's going to remember you in 200 years. Your name ain't going to be on anyone's lips unless you've done something that lasts, and people might be talking about it at that point, like we still talk about some of our historical people, and it's 200, 300, 400, or 500 years later. But they did some pretty huge things. I don't plan, I plan on at least leaving some kind of legacy behind before I go, as I want people to live the best lives that they can. You're doing it right
now, man.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I want people to live the best lives that they can. And personally, my personal thoughts are to limit yourself with something like religious belief. In my mind, that's a limitation. It's like, I feel like you're penalizing yourself. I had so many questions as a kid that my religious teachers couldn't answer, and I spent a lot of time in the hallway at Hebrew school because I had questions that they couldn't answer. Right? So, like one of the ones that I think bothers me a lot, and I actually get mad when I talk about this, is because like people believe in this entity that's apparently all loving and all knowing and all present, yet refuses to step in when clergy of whatever type are molesting children. And even though these children, I'll guarantee,
I knew that was coming,
are praying for him to intervene and make this stop, and he's not doing it. He just whispers in their ear, maybe, oh, I'll get you later. That's not good enough for me, because if I saw that happening, you're fucking right, I'd step in right then and there, even at the risk to my own life being taken. And I have once in the past.
Well, as goes that in particular, there's a whole numerous, there's a lot of reasons why that was brought to the forefront, why you know that and everyone else knows that, and they don't know about Chabad and some of the things that go on in Hebrew school either, but that's neither here nor there. But I will say this, Ratzinger, who was Pope Benedict at the time when this was going on, him moving around these people, you're not going to go up to any Catholic and they're going to be like, oh yeah, that was okay. They collectively condemned that. And those people eventually did get dealt with. And yeah, those things are evil and those things are bad. And yes, human beings run God's church here on earth. It's not that it's infallible. It's that it has the posterity starting with Christ all the way up until now. Believe me, I'm not going to argue with you and say that the Catholic Church is blemish free, because that would be ridiculous. Of course,
it's not about the Catholic Church, man.
However,
it's not about the Catholic Church. It's about God himself not intervening when he absolutely, at least in my mind, should have.
Yeah, the all-knowing God who knew it was going to happen.
Also knew I was be born an atheist.
It's just like the Jews, where they killed Christ, is because it wasn't the Messiah that they wanted.
The Romans killed Christ.
And again, like that plays back into what we want. It has nothing to do with God's plan. If it's always about something to do with you,
if that's his plan, why would you want to be a part of it?
In the immediate.
If his plan includes not intervening in a molestation case, why would you want to be even fucking close to that plan? If his plan is to go in, kill all the men, all the women who have slept with men, and all the boys and all the cattle, but keep the women who haven't slept with men for yourself, what kind of fucking plan is that? And why would you want to be a part of that?
Where does it say that in the Bible? Like, what are you referring to?
Shit.
Because first it was the Bible, and then it was God, and then it's God again. So which is it?
I'm using the Bible because all his words are in there. So it's still about God.
You also said that he told Lot to get raped in the Bible, and that was wrong. So can you recant that?
It's not wrong, dude. His daughters got him drunk and had their way with him.
Show me or tell everyone where it says God says to do that.
1 minute.
God also told a group of people to go destroy an entire other group of people, and said that they could keep all of the young virgins for themselves, which would also kind of lean towards
you're talking
that
about the Old Testament, right?
So are you suggesting the Old Testament is worthless? Is meaningless?
No, I'm asking. Are you? So you're referencing? You're quoting from the Old Testament. Is that right?
I'm trying my best to recall.
Why does that matter?
But I'm asking you why it
matters. You use some of the Old Testament in the New Testament. The New Testament uses some of the Old Testament. So why does it matter?
Like, so the Ten Commandments are useless then? Is that what you're saying?
You are quoting the Old Testament. Is that right? So? I just want to make sure we're on the same sheet of music.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Old Testament, and give me a little while to be able to explain this. This is longer than...
Okay, hold on. So, actually, Steve, just hang on a sec. So, you know what? I think this has been an amazing call, but we've like a whole bunch of people on the line waiting to get in as well.
Yes.
Instead, I would just like, Steve, can you call back another time? We're here every Sunday, right? And you've been a great caller. Sure. And we want to encourage you to call back. And it sounds to me like the three of us could do this all night. And what I'm saying is we've got a queue.
Probably,
to that queue.
Yeah, I mean, also,
you guys got a good part.
Yeah.
Not only did Lot get taken sexually by his daughters, he also offered his daughters up to be gang raped. So
there you go.
God told him to do. Anyway, I digress. God didn't.
You can go look at it. We'll go look at some stuff, and hopefully we'll see you again.
I know what he's talking about.
Okay.
But, we'll pick it up at the Old Testament thing next Sunday. But you guys, you do a great show. I appreciate you letting me on here to speak. But I know that you have a lot of people that probably want to get on there. So
to be honest, we probably have a queue because you've probably inspired a lot of people who are just like, oh, I want to get in there and get involved too. So thanks for that. And call again, please.
Yeah, I sure will. Yeah. All right. You guys have a great night, and happy Labor Day.
Yeah, you too. Have a great one, Steve. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one of the few holidays that U.S. and Canada share right there, right? Labor Day. There we go.
Oh, I feel bad.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. We can bro handshake over that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got Thanksgiving coming up. You guys got to wait a whole extra month. There you go.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Cheers, brother.
Right,
take care.
Yeah, before we take our next call, just so you know, we hit 3,500 subscribers here on Skeptic Haven during that call. So awesome.
Oh yeah, there's the horns. Okay, our next call is right with the freaking sound effects already. The fucking ears are bleeding. Anywho, Bruce from Florida, he's a theist, and he wants to know hosts' opinions on religion, philosophy, and why we're here. It's not working. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Yeah, great call so far, or great show so far.
Well, thank you.
I'd like to, you guys go ahead and express what you want. I'm a theist. I believe in God, but not probably what you typically think.
Okay, well, tell us what when you say you believe in God, first of all, which God, and why are you convinced that particular God exists?
Okay, great. Christian God. Jesus was God. He was God in the flesh. And I'm not a Catholic. I have my own issues with Catholicism. The last caller was phenomenal. And also, I want to appreciate you guys for doing a show like this. This is awesome. I wish I would have thought of it, but
well, it takes a lot of people to make this kind of show happen. And
yes,
there's more than twice as many people behind the scenes, behind us, doing everything they can to help us look and sound good. So
yeah, we're just the talking heads, literally.
Yeah, true. I can't. Yeah, I couldn't do it on my own. I didn't mean to diminish anything that anybody does on your end, behind the scenes, or anything like that. But anyway, it's fantastic. I just want to give a props to all of you and your staff. But anyways, so let's get into it. I don't plan to take a lot of your time, but I'll come at you at a different angle, though. Let me say this, guys, is that I was raised in the church. I was raised, I guess you could call it Baptist, Church of Christ, that sort of thing. So you could say I was indoctrinated, all that, but I've lived a life of an absolute, for lack of a better word, a heathen, a drug addict, an absolute mayhem. Okay.
Have you overcome that, Bruce?
Yeah, for the most part, yes. However,
well, congratulations for that.
I have nothing to do with that, though. No, I'm not.
I'll be honest with you, buddy. I think it was you all the way, regardless, because of you. What I believe, I don't believe in any entities or deities or supernatural of any kind. So your conquering of your drug addiction was all you, buddy. So the congratulations goes to you.
Well, I appreciate the compliment, but I would say that what I would call you guys' podcast is more like ignorance is bliss. And I'm not trying to troll you there. I'm just saying, in my case, and that's why I said I'm coming at a different angle, is because I know God is real, but not because I had some big experience or some big blind flashing lights or anything like that. It's just that I know that God exists.
Okay.
And I know that the God of the Bible exists. And
hold on, Bruce.
Some of the things that you guys are saying. Well, wait. There's one point about the last discussion is that what you guys are ignoring with stories like about Lot and stuff like that is, number one, you're not putting anything in context. You guys aren't looking at the context of what was going on there. And number two is
why is it suddenly okay that rape is okay if it's in the right context?
No, but you're saying these inflammatory things here, but you're not reading the Bible properly, is what it is. And I know you guys aren't Bible scholars.
How do you know how to read the Bible properly? What is the proper way to read the Bible? If I asked that question to everybody that I met, they would give me a different answer. So what is the proper way to read the Bible?
Steve just finished telling us we were using the wrong lens, and now we're just reading it wrong. So
a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. I'll say that first.
Yeah, that would be us too, and you included.
Okay, so
no. I'm not being prideful saying I do. I've studied Taoism, Buddhism, like all kinds of religions. I've searched for the truth. I've been an atheist. I've been an agnostic. I've been a universalist. I've tried all these things, and at my own behest of my own just wrestling with myself, I've come to the conclusion, and it's not just recent, but that God is real. And I come from a different kind of perspective than you guys.
You claim to know that God is real, right? Knowledge.
Now wait a minute. Let me back up, because you said you don't want to torture yourself or or people that believe in God are kind of like hard on themselves and stuff like that. Okay. I can kind of understand that in a way. However, you know, once you know the truth, you know, I mean, it does set you
How
free.
come we don't know the truth?
You're going to
Bruce?
wrestle.
Bruce,
Well,
how
you're
come
gonna
we don't know
wrestle.
it?
You're going to wrestle.
Bruce, I don't want to have to
You're
mute
gonna
you, so
wrestle.
give me a
You're gonna
second
wrestle
here.
with sin. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Knowledge.
I'll let you respond.
Okay. Knowledge is demonstrable. When we say we know something, we can demonstrate how we know it. So you claim to know there's a God, so demonstrate that. Ken
Okay,
Thomas
not
in the
only
chat
do I
claims
know
he knows
there's
that
a
God is
God,
real too.
I know the Bible's true.
How do you know the
100%.
Bible's true?
For one thing, I read it, and I haven't read it from front to
I
back
read
like a lot
fucking
of
the Lord of the
atheists
Rings
say they have.
trilogy. Is the Lord of the
I read-
Rings true now?
Wait.
I've read it cover to
go to
cover in 2 languages.
All right, but yeah, I mean, you guys are scoffing and all that, but that's fine. But I know just from reading the Bible. I mean, I'll tell you a Bible.
How,
verse.
Bruce? Bruce,
Yeah.
Bruce, hold on a sec. We actively want you to tell us how you know it's true, because we want to know
both
as
read it.
many true things as possible. If the Bible
Right.
is true,
Okay.
how do you know it's true? What knowledge do
Okay,
you
let me
have
start with the
that
verse.
we're lacking?
All right, in Hebrews it says faith comes.
Hold on, you
through
can't
hearing.
use the Bible
and-
to
Wait.
prove the Bible. You
Yeah,
first have
that's-
to prove
that's-
the Bible's true
It-
before you
No,
can
no,
go from
no,
it.
no. Wait, let me finish.
Circular reasoning, Bruce. Come on.
Faith comes through hearing, and hearing through the Word of God. So God tells you exactly how to get faith, and it's by the Word of God. It's not about reading about Lot and the flood and all the Old Testament stories and the Jewish stories. I mean, we're in the New Testament, guys. We're in the New Covenant.
Tell
We're
that to all
saved.
the Jews that are still alive today.
A lot of them aren't on board. They didn't believe in Jesus.
Right. Although there is a small sect
That's the problem.
called Jews for Jesus, but that's a whole other story. But you're right.
Well,
But there are
problem
still
that's
about
Jews.
4 to 6% of our
They believe-
population is still Jewish.
Oh, a lot of the Jewish people are blind. But the Bible says in the last days that they will come to
Are
the
you
knowledge
capable
of
of
truth.
proving the Bible without using the Bible at all?
Of course.
How? I'm still waiting
Ask
for
me a
that.
question.
I'm sorry?
Ask me a question. I'm a 55-year-old man. I've been through life.
Who wrote the Bible?
It was inspired. Many men. The Bible consists of 66 books by 40 different
What about the
authors.
ones they didn't want to put in?
Yeah. And you guys can talk about contradictions and things like that. Wait.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
lots
the
of-
ones they didn't want to put in?
Yeah, what
Like
about all the
book of Enoch?
supposed books
I have no
that they
problem with
didn't
the
allow
book of
in?
Enoch. There's a lot of truth in a lot of those. But there was a reason they kept them out.
Uh-huh.
There was a reason they kept them out, guys.
What was the reason? To try to fool people into following their made-up religion?
See, I mean, obviously, you guys don't know the New Testament at all. You don't know the words of Jesus.
I can quote it
read
to
it
you, and
twice.
you want it in French? I read it in French.
Well, come on.
Went to Catholic school for all through my entire high school career. Wore a uniform. Was dragged to Catholic church in French. You think Catholic church is boring? Listen to it in French. I'm telling you.
I mean,
I am all completely familiar with all of the texts that every priest and every religious teacher has magically just skipped over because they didn't want to tell those stories. We're just going to tell the part about, the crucifixion and things of that sort. But we still come back to the same question where you're trying to use the Bible to prove the Bible. We don't even know who wrote the Bible, and the oldest versions and copies of the Bible that we have are like a century after the fact and translated and rescribed, and things were being taken out and things are being added. So how can you possibly go by believing
I know
everything
this,
in the
I know
Bible.
this, that you don't. I know this, guys. You don't want to know the truth, because if
There
you
it is.
did,
No,
you
we
And
would
if I
do.
continue,
know.
and if I continue to argue with you on this point, the next thing out of your mouth is going to be, "You're just mad at God."
When you
No,
say
no,
I can prove the Bible, and then you use the Bible to prove the Bible, this is what I think of. It's like a fucking closed circuit.
Plugging the
Looking to you guys.
power bar into
Why you
itself.
get so hot?
Yeah.
Why you guys getting so mad? Looking into some real theologians like William Lane Craig. If you have that level. Look at guys like Sam Shamoon.
Yeah, no.
And this is more for
No.
your audience, really. Sam Shamoon.
Their arguments are weak sauce, buddy.
Guys like that, if you want to know, I mean, if you want to know if the Bible's real or not.
Although, Bruce, you claim to know, but you don't know because you haven't been able to demonstrate that knowledge. You're just saying, hey, go listen to this guy, go watch this YouTube
We're on
video.
a radio.
Go read the book. I've already read
I
the
can tell you this. The Catholic Church is satanic, in my opinion. So your last caller, while he's a great guy, and while he may not know what goes on in the upper echelons of his church, and when he says...
You've just proven my point for me here, Bruce.
Wait. Let me finish my point. He said that I will build my church on this rock. He just wasn't talking about Peter at all. He was talking about Peter's faith that Jesus would build that on, the church on. And he was also talking about himself, but he was by no means. So for a guy to completely
and our man
change his
Steve,
entire freaking worldview,
and our man Steve would just say to you, "You're using the wrong lens, brother. You're using the wrong lens." I mean, so this is actually really perfect.
I've used your guys' lens, and your lens.
Bruce,
wrong.
hold on a sec. This is actually pretty perfect, because as far as I'm concerned, Neil and I are the only ones with the leg to stand on, because we're both just sitting here waiting for either you, Bruce, or Steve to convince us. And you're both failing at it. It seems to me like you two need to come together and figure out which religion's the true religion first, and then pitch it to us.
It takes a lifetime, not 10 minutes.
Really? Well, there's people that are believers like almost right away. I've met many that said, "Oh man, when I went to church, I was convinced right then and there."
I'm baptized. I'm circumcised. I've had a first communion. I've had a confirmation.
Or mitzvah.
What age were they when they had that blinding light moment? I haven't had one of those. Everybody has it. God is infinite.
Everyone's different, so it'll be different for all. But
You're making God like he's a child or a creation. Himself.
No, we're saying we're not convinced he exists. We're sitting here actively trying to get you to try to give us anything.
You're taking the agnostic position.
No, it's not an agnostic position. It's an atheist position.
Okay, a weak atheist position.
Skeptic Haven.
No, mine's a strong atheist position.
You want to be convinced.
The point is,
I will change my mind with sufficient evidence. Yes, but I am a strong atheist.
Yeah, we wouldn't be on here seeking calls of people like you if there was zero chance of someone coming up with some
many people will tell you that all I can do is plant a seed, guys. I'm not God. I can't,
right.
Can
you communicate with God, Bruce?
I can plant. Look. A farmer.
Can you communicate with God?
He can water it. Wait a minute. A farmer can plant a seed and he can water it.
Oh,
okay, but
enough with the fucking bullshit analogies, dude.
Okay, God does.
By that analogy, the seed was planted in me before I could speak. Like, my family has been trying to get me to believe my entire life. Guess what? There's only one person left in my whole family that believes. My own mother, who has survived cancer 3 times now, came to me one day to say, that whole Bible shit, I think it's bullshit. And I laughed my ass off and said, Mom, welcome to the club.
I mean, come on. That's one person out of what, 8 billion now? 8.5?
Bruce, let me tell you something. What I do on my... Bruce, hold on here. What I do on my regular show, this is not my regular show. I come in as one of the main hosts for Skeptic Haven. On my show, I do deconversion stories, and I have had well over 600 interviews with people giving me all the reasons they became unconvinced at an early age or a later age, and every story has some similarities, but a lot of people have different.
But if you want to know, but that's because
Skeptic
you're not a
Haven
truth
joined.
thief. You don't want the truth. You want to find reasons to
wrong.
believe what you believe.
Wrong, Bruce. Wrong. I want to know everything that's true,
8 billion
as much
reasons.
true things as
There's 4
possible,
billion
and I don't
people
want to
that
believe any
agree with
falsehoods. That's why I don't believe in the Bible, because I don't want to believe falsehoods.
There's 4 billion people that agree with your way. That's why I called it ignoranceisbliss.com.
Argument ad
podcast.
populum, or whatever the fuck it's called. Argumentum ad populum is just a logical fallacy, Bruce. Just because a whole bunch of people believe something doesn't mean it's true. Does it mean that because there's a million 4-year-olds in the world that believe in Santa Claus, is Santa real now?
More people don't believe in Christianity. What are you talking about? So your fallacy turns itself on its head.
Well, that means that the other religions are right and yours is wrong then, right?
No, we're not going by a majority.
Muslims out there. So they would be right and you're wrong because there's more people that believe in those than your
They believe in a false God. They believe in a false prophet.
How do you know they're false?
How do you know?
Because I know the real God. The real God.
Their book says your God is
but you
your
haven't
God
proven
doesn't
it.
exist. Their book says your God doesn't exist.
That's right. Now
And
what?
they have 2 books.
They're wrong. They're wrong.
But how do you know?
You believe that to be the case,
do I
but
know?
they believe that
How do I
you're
know?
wrong. So how are you going to prove them wrong now?
Because I know their Quran and I know the Bible, and I know
Really?
which one makes.
What
sense.
about the Bhagavad Gita?
Guys, if you dig into it more, man, I pray that you do.
I have no fucking desire, because even if that God did exist, he's a piece of shit, and I want nothing to do with him.
There you go. That's what it comes down to.
Reading too much Old Testament.
Oh, but that's where it started, man. And that's where yours was birthed from.
You've been focusing on too many Catholic priests that are baby.
Still, your favorite deity didn't intervene. So
Are you
that
suggesting that the 10 Commandments are done?
Of course,
They're useless?
Why would he intervene? Why would he intervene?
What? If a child is being molested, I would fucking intervene.
Okay, but I mean that's very inflammatory and it's very easy. That's an easy.
Inflammatory? It
He's
happens,
God.
and it
It would
happens
be
a
the
lot.
easiest. God could do it without disrupting his lunch period. He could just and be done.
I'm not a deist. God didn't set things in motion, but God is not going to intervene in every little thing. Why is there war? Why are there all kinds of injustice?
He inspired many wars in the Old Testament.
I was going to
As a matter
say, a
of
lot
fact,
of
he
those
told
wars
people to go
were
out and kill his neighbors.
religiously based.
A lot of those wars. Nice try. How many? Like 20 in the Old
The
Testament.
Amalekites.
Well, I mean,
kill everybody.
we could
Yeah,
talk about
kill
the
all the
wars in the
animals.
Old Testament,
I mean,
but
you guys
apparently
are
that
focused
doesn't
on the
mean
wrong
anything.
things, man. You guys don't want to know the truth.
No, you're wrong. We do, but
You
you're
know,
not
and
providing it.
It sucks
Yeah,
because, like I said from the beginning of the call, I come into a different place where I'm more tortured of a soul because I know that it's
Because you
true.
believe in
And I have
nonsense, and they've
trouble
convinced you that you are.
actually following. I've been where you guys are at, and that sucks, yes. But where I'm at,
I don't think it sucks. I'm having a great life, Bruce, and I don't need any fucking shiny entities to make it any better.
And the whole moral issue, you guys are completely wrong on. The last
Bullshit.
called you guys out on it.
Why am I immoral, Bruce? Please tell me, why am I immoral?
No, because if you were to go out and do something that you wanted to do right now, if your impulse made you desire it, and you went out to do it, okay, something told you deep inside not to do it. Where does that
would
come
be my
from?
conscience.
Is it your own? Exactly. And where did that come from?
My brain. This is
And your
proven
brain is
science, Bruce.
A series of chemical.
Correct.
And you're a chemist.
Exactly.
I heard you say that earlier.
Correct. You
Okay.
nailed it.
So all we are is just so.
That's correct. Yes.
And doing the evolution. I mean,
Your
there's not-
ego is the thing that's keeping you from accepting that to be a fact.
Wait, say it again. My what?
Your ego is
My
what's keeping
ego?
you from accepting
my
that the
ego.
fact that you are made up of molecules and particles from all over the fucking universe since its inception. You are literally made of stardust.
My ego. If If my ego was that strong, I would be able to suppress all of my negative and guilty feelings.
Ego has nothing to do with that. Oh my God!
I mean,
why do you have guilty
philosophy
that I would love to go get, and I can't. I can't go get them.
So, Bruce, hang on. Before I let you go, because we have other callers, I'm going to mute you because I have a question for you. You think I don't have morals, and you think that if I was to go and act on my whatever, like, what do you think I'm going to go do? Do you think I'm going to go out and rape and murder people?
No, I don't.
Right. You're damn right I'm not going to do that because that's horrifying.
Of course. No, but there are things that I want to do right now. And I'm not talking about things like that, sexual things. I could care less about that. But there are things that I want to go do right now that would put me in a better position than I am right now that I will not do. And
why won't you do it?
That's if you're going to say right now the reason you're not doing those things is because of God and that's the only thing stopping you, I would argue that makes you the terrible person.
Just God. It's not just God. It's not just God. It's that I don't want to I don't want my conscience attacked by myself.
Right. It sucks to have to live with that kind of shit, right?
I mean, there are a lot of things that I could go and benefit myself with right now. You know,
but you know they're wrong, so you don't do it.
It doesn't behoove me. They're wrong, not just because they would hurt me and put me in prison or go there. They're wrong. Where does that come from? Is it my own?
It comes from
your own conscience.
It comes from you, Bruce. It's all you, buddy.
You understand
I
people's
disagree.
well-being that it should be because you want your own well-being too. Feel free to disagree, but we're not wrong, man.
Start with the morality, you know.
No, morality is a human construct. I had to explain that to the last guy too.
Well, I think we've gone as far as we can with Bruce. I feel like morality becomes the law in these conversations all the time. So,
well, feel free to call us back.
Yeah, Bruce, we'd love to hear from you again.
Yeah.
It was nice talking with you.
For sure. I love what you guys are doing. I'll come more stronger next time.
Okay.
But good job.
I'll go lift some weights too. All right, thanks for calling, Bruce.
I will.
Cheers.
Oh man, what a great show today, right?
I don't. The moral argument to me in my head has always been one of the weakest arguments, and I really wish because clearly the entity that they believe in and that they fucking worship is anything but morally good.
Yeah, and I think the best defeater was the point you made with Steve earlier. Like, are you suggesting that if you didn't have God's leash, you would be out there just mowing people down? You know, yeah, and I don't even think Bruce caught on to that. Bruce is still stuck with the whole like he doesn't want to because it's in him because God put it there, which is just strange.
I just saw something else in the chat there from Ken Thomas. Man says, let me see first and I will believe. Yeah, that's basically how science works. God says, believe first and you will see. I did believe at one point. I didn't see shit, so I stopped believing. Oh, but I probably didn't believe hard enough. like what is this? If I believe hard enough, I'll be able to. There's this new fad going on right now where I'll be able to manifest God into existence. Is that what is going on?
I mean, I was literally
work that way.
I was literally raised in it, so I think it's nearly a miracle that I just found my own way out of it. Frankly,
I'm sorry, Ken, but if you want me to believe, you got to give me some evidence that I can go. Okay, now I believe.
Do we have another caller there, Neil?
We do. We have a couple more callers. All right. We have Michael from Florida, a deistic Christian. He says, if a book wrote about my existence 2,000 years ago, but today there's no evidence other than the book, does that mean I didn't exist? That's an interesting question.
Interesting.
Michael, how are you?
Florida showing up today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Props
I'm
to
a Florida man.
Oh, you're the guy I saw in the newspaper.
I'm a Florida man. Maybe I'm crazy.
I think you're probably just fine, Michael.
All right. I just want to ask another question, then you can get to the question that have been read. But Am I talking to an ex-Catholic and an ex-Jew? Or
Correct.
I don't know if you're still Jewish, but not theology-wise Jewish?
Yeah, I still consider myself, because I love Hanukkah and I love Passover. The food is phenomenal. So I still consider myself culturally Jewish, you might say, because I go with the family to celebrate the holidays and stuff like that. And I'm all about the food, though, not really so much the stuff behind it, right?
Yeah, and I was raised Catholic, and I was always very much. I always had a problem with like the traditions and the ceremonies. Always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So when I finished Catholic high school, I never looked back. I was like, thank God I don't have to go through any more of that.
Sorry, thank who?
Yeah, and I also live in a province with government-funded Catholic schools
Mom.
that I very much am against and want to try to stop.
Yeah, I always kind of hated that about like Judaism and also kind of Catholicism, or however you pronounce it. But I always hated that like these cultural Jewish people would always use like, hey, I'm Jewish, and then they would use that to justify the atrocities that Israel is doing. And also,
I'm not justifying any of that shit. Netanyahu's a fucking psychopath.
Okay, so you're for Palestine?
I'm all for. When I lived in Israel, and I lived there for 2 years, I graduated. I did grade 11 and 12 there. And I had a handful of Palestinian friends and Lebanese friends and all kinds of Arabic friends. And I think what's going on there is absolutely horrible. I think October 7th, the whole thing that kicked it off, was horrible too. But I still think that what is going on now is a genocide, and it needs to fucking stop. And I'm not the only one. I'm not a Zionist. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm with Neil.
To a sense, but hello?
Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Hello?
We're here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard something. Okay, I'm sorry. I heard something, but I don't want you to take this to offense, but so far, you're my favorite Jew. Second to Jesus. You're my favorite.
I appreciate that.
You're my favorite. All right, because I have met plenty of Jewish people who are just get on their knees, just I'm going to enjoy Papa Israel. Like it's just disgusting. Like
I'm related to some of them, so I get it.
Yeah, and just like someone in our chat pointed out, there's also people in Israel also protesting what's happening in Palestine as well. So
everyone
there's all
I
kinds
went to
of
school
people
with are protesting it right now.
Yeah, with all kinds of positions.
All right. I wish they would have more of a prominent like showing. Like maybe CNN would cover them, you know. But yeah,
a lot of
it's just like
groups doing it.
I mean, Canada just sent a whole lot of supplies and everything. Like, and Canada in September, we just did a huge airdrop of all kinds of supplies. Trump was super pissed that we did it. And then in September, Canada is going to recognize Palestine as a state, which Trump is also very pissed about.
Who cares what he thinks?
Yeah, 170 countries recognize Palestine as a state, and Canada is like the latest. Oh man, they were slacking.
Well, we're doing it in concert with, I think, the UK or whatever, or maybe it was France or something who's also going to do it. So it's like a whole bunch of people are going to get together. And Canada is sending as much aid as they can get in. I mean, it's hard to get there, I think. So that's the problem.
Yeah, I'm afraid that either Hamas or Israel would just eat the food so like the children could starve, because it's just basically a genocide camp over there. Yeah. And so many people are just slave to Israel. And it's not even just like all Jewish people. It's heavily Protestant who have this like, pardon me?
So there are other groups that are behind them as well, yes.
Like who, other than Protestants and like the Zionist Jews?
Well, there are other Semitic groups that are behind them. Because you realize that Semitic people are people from that entire area, not just Jewish people, right?
Yeah, but I don't know any other prominent like Semitic people who are other than like Jewish people who I don't even consider like real Semites. But I don't know any other Semitic people that are heavily like for Israel like that, and that may be my ignorance.
Well, I personally know one who's an Iranian that is a Zionist.
Oh yeah, there's always one token brown, but you know, one is one too many.
The hell does that mean?
But
Yeah, what does that mean?
yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know. But anywho,
I'm kind of hoping you said something you didn't mean to say, and then maybe we can just steer away from it.
Here's what I'm going to say about this whole thing. We need to bring this topic to. I'm pretty sure everyone here, even in the chat, are very much against what's going on in Israel and the genocide. I am. I know that Justin is, and I know everyone else involved in the show is against them. So it's horrible what's going on there. It needs to stop. Hopefully it does soon. But let's move on to your other question.
All right. So my thing is, I'm sick of like atheists saying like God wouldn't use a book to like reveal himself, when the fact is like whatever medium God uses to reveal himself, you will have people say like, oh, this medium is also used by fiction, like books, film.
Okay, but go back to the time when he first apparently showed up.
Pardon me?
Go back to the time when he first apparently showed up. They didn't have movies.
Well, they had writings.
Yes, and very few people knew how to do that.
I would argue that God doesn't even reveal himself in writings.
Nope.
Okay. Well, let's say hypothetically he did. You would still like view this as like a form of like media that can be used by fictional like writers, I guess, right?
Well, if we're going to go and venture into hypotheticals, if a god wrote a book, he would know exactly what to write in that book that would make us all just read it and go, well, fuck, right? Like the text, he could make the text glow off the page and we would and never be able to answer why it does that and make it irrefutable. Instead, the God, the Christian God that's being presented to us is being presented to us in a book made up of a whole bunch of other books from authors no one can identify,
retranslated,
rewritten. Like, so, you know, how can we possibly accept
100 times apparently?
There you go.
There are no copies of the original scriptures, none whatsoever. No copies of the original scriptures. So how do you even know that the book you're putting together
that we found yet?
You're not going to find it. They're long gone now.
I mean, if you lived in the 16th century, you would probably say that you wouldn't find dinosaur bones. Like, they're dragons and stuff like that. Dragons aren't real. Like, just because we haven't found evidence at present day doesn't mean we'll never find evidence.
Okay.
Like,
but until that time, you believing in a thing is still wrong until you have that evidence.
Well, it's
right?
not that it's wrong. It's just what's the word I'm looking for?
Presupposing?
No, not presupposing. Like, there's not there's a word and I can't think of it.
If you believe in something that isn't yet proven to be true, that is down the road later proven to be true, you believing in the thing without the evidence, you were still wrong.
Until it was shown to be true.
Until it was shown to be true.
Really? Well, what about I mean, this is the logic that's Galileo killed.
What? What'd you say about do I have to get my Galileo minifigure out here now?
Oh, God. Way to go. Look what you did.
Hold on. Do you want me to give you why? Because I know that one of you were an ex-Catholic. It was your church that killed Galileo, or at least imprisoned him. So do you want me to give you why?
Why?
Okay, so
what he was saying was considered heresy.
Hold on. So the scientific idea that you can only believe in stuff that's already proven got Galileo killed because he said that the sun
what?
is the
So
center
what?
of the earth. And he did not have efficient evidence of this whatsoever. It was just an assertion. It was only hundreds of years after Galileo died that you could
Excuse
prove
me.
that the sun is the center of the earth. So what
You
happened
mean the
was
center of the solar
church
system?
said
Do you know how Galileo found that out?
it's the center.
Galileo could prove what he was
He
saying.
could prove based on the motions of the.
He couldn't.
Yes, he could. He had it all. Fuck, he had charts of it, dude. All the planets,
At
their
that time,
rotations.
he could not without
He had a telescope.
prove. Okay, just because you have a telescope doesn't mean you could automatically prove that the sun is the center of the universe without doubt.
He didn't prove the sun was the center of the universe.
The church called it heresy, called him blasphemer, and they didn't lock him up. They basically kind of put him on house arrest. But that was also Copernicus. They did that to Copernicus too.
Well, Copernicus believed in like some crazy stuff where he thought that there were multiple universes and universes. Like,
so crazy now.
And did he believe it or did he hypothesize it?
He hypothesized it.
Right.
Based on mathematics.
I think there's like, how can I say this? Little to no difference between believing and hypothesizing.
Wrong. Hypotheses are an actual scientific term. Belief in something is something that you do. You might have a hypothesis and you believe that hypothesis is correct. You go to the testing phase and then you either demonstrate that it is or isn't correct. That's the scientific method.
Yeah. Failing to prove your hypothesis sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna let you finish. No, go ahead. I interrupted you during your sentence. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna try to requote something I heard and I forgot what it was, and I was thankful you interrupted because I was gonna get out of it without making an ass of myself. But now you put me back on the spot. Something to do about failure to prove. Science only fails to prove the hypothesis. Or fails to disprove it. Sorry. So all science does is try to disprove a thing, and as long as they can't, then
that's peer review.
And then that's the theory that goes forward.
Just FYI, Bruce.
Yeah,
I work in the sciences. I'm a lab technician in chemistry.
Oh, that's cool. I mean,
this is Michael. Bruce was.
You have a degree and everything.
Oh, Michael. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Michael. I do not have
fine.
I don't have a degree. I didn't go all the way to get the degree, but I have what I'm certified for what I do. Let's put it that way. I took all the correct schooling for what I do.
And I have a degree in creating worlds.
He's got a God degree.
Okay, that's good enough. But back to Galileo, like this whole idea that if you believe something without efficient evidence, therefore you can be crucified, you can be bullied. That's what got Galileo in trouble because he didn't have efficient evidence enough to tell the church.
They just didn't want to believe it.
The sun is in. Pardon me?
He did have the evidence.
I have books showing his evidence, but I'm not digging them out because they're buried. But
what were the books?
The scraps of paper that he wrote stuff on. He had all kinds of ideas. He even did drawings of the patterns of the motions. Newton figured it out too, right? So,
yeah.
Well, Newton figured out gravity, like
and the motion.
Newton figured out
what we now know is the actual motion of the planets. Right? Galileo had thought that the planets were almost a circular motion. Newton figured out that because of specific gravitational behavior, that not all the planets revolve in a circle. Some of them are more oval.
Yeah. I think the point that all three of us are struggling to get on here is that certain claims need a certain degree of evidence, And Galileo had the evidence,
Extraordinary claims.
and he had enough evidence for it to be believed, even though some people didn't want to believe it because it went in the face of their God.
That's
right. At the end of the day, the Bible is not sufficient evidence to prove any God.
Okay.
Unless you already believe.
Okay, so what is sufficient evidence other than a book? It seems that Galileo could have scraps of paper that proves a theory that.
But Galileo wrote his own papers. He didn't wait 100 years for some other people to write before him. Like,
if you don't trust the internet, go to a library and ask for books on Galileo, and then you'll see all of it there.
Okay, cool. Can you suggest a book on Galileo, or I mean,
I just can't remember the fucking name of it. Give me a second here.
Okay, you got a chat. I mean, you can like tell me.
Hold on,
he's looking it up. He's got a computer right in front of him. He'll be with you in just a second. You just can't.
Okay, I'm not rushing you or nothing. I mean, I got bad service too. But anywho, it's been a great call, guys. I'm about to go to bed.
All right.
Love y'all.
Oh yeah, it's pretty late for you.
Found Christ.
Well, Michael, I appreciate the call, and to answer your actual question, if a book wrote,
I appreciate the answer.
Your question of a book written 2,000 years ago, but today there's no evidence other than the book. Does that mean I didn't exist? No, not necessarily. That's the best answer I can give you.
Skeptic
Oh,
Haven
okay.
Joined.
All right,
Michael, you've been fantastic. Please call again.
Thank you You've been fantastic too. I really want that book though.
Oh shit. Okay. Hold on.
Take your time. I mean, I'm about to go to bed, but you know, I'll wait for you all.
I mean, read them all, dude. Just read them all.
Hold on.
Read them all.
Yeah, why not? You got the time, right?
Yeah, I
okay,
got the time.
A book written by him called Systema Cosmicum. That's the one I was trying to remember. That's the first book I ever read on the guy.
Okay, can you spell that?
Yeah, it's hang on. Where is it now?
If you type it in the chat, it'll be saved in the chat forever. And then Michael can reference it anytime they want to.
You know what? I'll just see it in the chat. You can just write it in the chat.
That's what I just suggested. Yeah. Just type it in the chat. And then
All
you can rewind back to on this video.
Systema. Okay, hold on. Michael, Systema, which is Systema.
All right, Systema.
And Cosmicum, which is cosmic with a UM on the end of it. And it is literally the Latin translations, or the translations of the Latin conversations of Galileo's dialogue concerning the two chief world systems.
But closing remark, Galileo, he also believed in God. He just believed that the church had a misunderstanding and a very ignorant view of the scriptures, a very stone-headed caveman view of the scriptures.
Just because you're right about one thing doesn't mean you're right about everything.
You got to remember, though, many people back then, even though they were scientists, there were also many of them were God believers. Some weren't, but many of them were. It was you got to also remember, in order to get an education and not be killed, you sort of had to at least pretend you were a God believer.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for your call, Michael.
All right.
Get some sleep.
All right. Thank you.
Hot, sticky weather that you live in.
Yeah. Take care, Michael. All right. Good one. Okay. So now we have David from Texas. The stars at night. Let's see if he finishes the song. So he's a theist. Do the hosts condone slavery? Or asking for clarification on the errors in the New Testament? That should be interesting. Do I condone slavery? Fuck no, I don't condone slavery. I condemn it.
Yeah, I condemn it
Are
absolutely.
big and bright, deep in the heart.
I like you already.
Fantastic. Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
That's from a Pee Wee Herman movie, actually.
They got the original bike and they're putting it at the Alamo as part of the permanent exhibit now.
No way.
No way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you might want to look at it. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's awesome, man. I loved that movie back in the day.
Again, Neil and I aging ourselves, or half of the chat right now is going, what's a Pee Wee Herman and why do we care about his bike?
Come on along, it's Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Anyways.
Anyways, David, thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir. Just with the condoning of slavery. So Department of Labor statistics show that a lot of household items, from shoes to cell phones to electronics to computers to televisions,
I know where you're going
are
with this.
sourced and manufactured. Can y'all hear me?
Yep. I know where you're going with this too.
Yeah, so they're sourced with slave labor and child slave labor.
Yep.
So if you purchase those goods, do you still condone slavery?
That is a good ethical question.
It's a question I ask myself every day when everyone talks about, China and its power in the marketplace. Because I know that, the quality, the amount of money you need to make to live in China is very, very low. And then they go and they pay their people very, very, very low wages where they would never survive anywhere else in the world. And, to me, it's right up there with the same question as like veganism. It's like, I'm not a huge fan of the way some of the animals get treated, but still gonna eat a cheeseburger. It's a tough one. And
it is hard.
You come really close to like completely pinning us down with that, to be frank. But no, we don't like it. And if there was a way around it, I think we would definitely take that path.
Just something to think about when that topic comes up, because it's still relevant today as it was back then.
Yeah,
but then on the other topic, from the previous calls, I know there was a lot of discussions about God taking action, especially in reference to evil actions happening.
Mm-hmm.
So if God acted every time somebody was doing evil, what would stop people?
Which he could do.
Or not allow them to have free will.
I have a problem with the idea of free will, because
if God has a plan, you don't have free will.
Yep. So sorry, we were talking over each other a little bit. Did you understand what Neil said, David?
No, sir.
Okay. So if God knows absolutely everything that's going to happen and that we're going to do we actually have free will?
Yes, we have the ability and the choice to act.
But he already knows what you're going to choose, dude.
So are you saying that we're capable of doing something that God did not anticipate?
Yes.
So then he doesn't know. Then he's not all-knowing.
He is all-knowing because he exists outside of time.
So but how can he be? How can he be all-knowing but not know what I'm going to do?
Before we get to the thing about God all-knowing, my question is if God stops everybody from committing evil acts, then how do we not sit there and call him a tyrant for not allowing us to act freely?
If I saw an entity bringing an end to the evil doings of mankind, I would shake that entity's hand. Because I don't want evil things to happen. As a person on my own, I can't do much to stop it, but I can step in when necessary if I'm available and able to do so. If there's an omnipotent, hold on, David. If they've got an omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent, we'll say, the quad omni factor, they call it. If you've got an entity, which you can't really have an entity with all those factors at the same time, but regardless of that, they're contradictory. But regardless of that, if you've got an entity that proposes to have all of these qualities, then that entity is wrong 100% for not stepping in when especially egregious actions like the ones I was talking about earlier are going on, and he just lets them go because he's going to get the bad guy later and send him to hell, which is the whole concept of hell is ridiculous anyways, but still.
And if
that's an evil entity.
And we can even take that same point and make it a little bit more personal and local. God created the world knowing that Neil and I were going to ultimately not believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave us the free will to decide, apparently, and yet does nothing to convince us.
Unless us being unconvinced was part of his plan.
In which case he's then going to send us to hell.
Right.
Your free will is predicated on the principle of God itself with the value of love. But it's because you say there's no free will, but the truth is without free will, there can be no authentic love. If you can choose to not love somebody or to love them, then you do have free will. Now, with the problem of evil in the world, with Torah, the 10 Commandments, the law of Moses, if, as Jesus said, Yeshua, if we keep to enter into life to keep the law, to keep the commandments. So if everybody in this world kept the 10 Commandments, the law of God, and the greatest law that God gave, to love one another as I love you, will there be any evil in this world? No, there wouldn't. So he did intervene. He did tell us the way. He did show us the way. But through our actions and through our choices, this evil still exists in the world. And that's why there's
judgment. Go to his, according to his plan then, did it?
Huh?
Then obviously everything didn't go according to his plan. If there is evil, and you just said he brought an end to evil, then that didn't stick.
No, if you go back to how he interacted with people in the Old Testament, he gave them warning after warning after warning for generations.
Yeah.
And when they did not heed his warnings, and then judgment came. And this is with previous civilizations throughout history. He warned the Canaanites. Every time before God renders judgment, judgment is not evil. It's retribution. It's divine judgment. He always gives warning first.
Says who?
If
says him?
They accept judgment.
You could judge me all the fuck you want, but if you're going to wipe out an entire civilization of people and that's okay, that's not okay. I don't give a shit who says that.
Yeah.
You're just saying that, but it's God, so it's okay. Fuck that. Might as well call God Netanyahu.
No. Okay. So you were bringing up the situation about child molesters. Do you believe child molesters should be brought to justice and seek retribution and justice in the legal system?
They should be fucking locked up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So you can't have it one way or the other. You can't sit there and judge God and they're pronouncing judgment. It's the exact same thing.
I'm not telling anybody to kill anybody. I'm saying take the wrongdoer and put him behind bars where he fucking belongs. Sorry, but if you're going to come into our society and behave that way and molest children of all things, you deserve to be locked up and put in jail.
Okay,
Bottom
so you
fucking
believe
line.
in the power of the law and retribution and judgment.
Yeah, I do. We have
correct?
laws for a fucking reason, right?
Our laws are not based on the Bible or God and his so-called morality. In fact, I would argue our laws are more moral than anything God ever put forward.
But like I was saying, it all comes back to free will. And without free will, you don't have choice. And without choice and free will, you don't have authentic love. If God took away our capacity to perform evil, then we would call him. Think about what I'm saying.
Emotional
your whole argument is stalled on free will. You first have to demonstrate that we have free will. And as long as God is
do you have the choice to sit there to do something or not to do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Then you have free will. You have choice.
But the question becomes, would I do both of those things? In like, if I choose to go eat food after this live stream or not to eat food after this live stream, I would argue that
really free will.
Yeah, I would argue that I would. Well, okay, fair enough, but I would make the same decision every time, regardless.
Yeah.
I could choose to eat an hour after the live stream instead of right after.
Free will and choice exist. And if God sit there and intervened every time somebody did evil, mankind would call him a tyrant because they didn't have the free will to choose. If you do
God
not
is-
have the free will to choose,
God
you
is
can
all-knowing.
love someone.
God doesn't need to intervene. He could have just never put the situation forward for those things to happen because he created every situation. If God is all-knowing and the creator of everything, all the bad things that have ever happened in all of history are God's fault.
Go back to the garden before judgment came on Adam and Eve.
The one that
before
didn't
sin entered
exist?
the world. He gave them warning. He gave them laws, and he told them not to do something.
And then he
So it was
lied
on
to them.
mankind for his
And then he
actions
lied
to
to God, to
the
Adam
world.
and Eve when he told them
Yeah.
that they would die. They
No,
didn't
he
die.
did not lie.
Yeah, he did. Told them they'd die if they
He
ate the
did
fruit
not
and they
lie
didn't
to
die.
them. Huh?
He told them they would die if
No,
they ate the
I
fruit from
agree.
the tree of knowledge. They didn't die.
They did die.
No, they didn't die.
They were dead and buried. Their son died. Death came into the world because they didn't listen.
Death comes into the world because
He
cells
gave them
eventually
warning.
run out
But
of
listen,
energy.
this is the theme that goes back to the beginning. He gave them warning. Do not do something. They didn't
But
listen.
he knew they were going to do it.
Yeah, he knew they were going to do it.
But he told them not to do it, even though he knew they were going to.
That's right.
Right.
So then it's a fucking
Whose fault
setup.
is it?
Because on that day,
If I give a monkey a
you
loaded
can't
gun and
listen
tell
to
him
me.
not to shoot it,
Listen, please. The whole concept is about judgment. Because on the day of judgment, when you stand before the
right?
Son of Man,
It's just a
and when you
concept.
stand before God, all your decisions and all the free will choices that you made will condemn you.
David, the whole
they won't.
thing starts with the very first thing you said, which is free will. Neil and I are still trying to get you to convince us of free will, and you're not understanding the point we're making. So everything that
You
comes after
exercise
that
free
in your
will every
argument,
day. We
What's
see
that?
free will being exercised in everybody's decisions and judgments that they make every day conducting their activities.
but it can't be free will if God knew everything that was going to happen.
Yeah, that's what you're missing.
So you need to either concede
I'm
God
not
doesn't know you either need to
Yeah, you are.
concede God doesn't know everything or that we don't have free will. If you want to argue from the point of view that we have free will, God can't know everything that's going to happen.
No.
Therefore, he's
You
not
are
all knowing and not
missing
all powerful.
what I'm saying.
No, we get what you're saying. We're trying to demonstrate to you that what you're saying and what you believe to be the case is wrong.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't
No.
compute.
No, it makes perfect sense.
No, it doesn't.
People choose to do evil because they like their evil, they like their sin, they love their flesh. They choose to reject God and His word, and in turn comes judgment.
You know what? We're done.
Yeah, thanks, David. We're Canadian. We know what it's like to be stuck in the snow. This is what it feels like to be stuck in the snow.
On that day, you were told, remember.
Remember what? You said you were trying to tell us that God exists outside of time and space. I've heard it before. If he exists outside of time and space, then he literally doesn't exist in this universe because both of those are required for existence.
Another point made.
I think he hung up. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I hope you heard
That's
that.
fine. That was, yeah.
Yeah, no, running around in fucking circles yet again. The free will thing is mind-boggling to me because just like you said, if God's all-knowing, then free will can't exist. If he has a plan, free will can't exist.
I mean, we could have very easily carried on to another point of the argument that David was making if they would have just been like, fine, God doesn't know everything that's going to happen. Then we could have moved on to other things, perhaps. But
I got a question for...
Sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Finish your thought. Because I just
my
have a
thought was
question
done.
for Ken. Oh,
yeah, my
okay.
thought was done.
I got a question for Ken, who's been mocking us in the chat for a while now. Ken, do you talk to God? Does God talk to you? I'll wait for your reply there because I know there's a bit of a time delay. I think I might be able to use my testing thing here now with the Lego guys. I just want to use it once, you know?
Yeah. That's a neat little model too. I saw that one and considered it for a moment, but I've set myself a rule in my new adventures into Lego, and I'm only going to collect the Lego that bring nostalgia to me.
Like this isn't nostalgia?
It does bring some nostalgia because I think we all got a gumball machine like that for Christmas at some point in time.
Well, Hanukkah, but yeah.
Sure. Is there another call there, Neil, or are we all done on calls?
There are no more calls.
All right.
And we have gone like 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I'm real happy with this entire show today.
God talks. Yeah.
This has been
God
fantastic.
speaks to me from time to time. All right, Ken, I want you to ask God a quick question, okay? Maybe he has time. Well, he's omnipotent and omnipresent, so he obviously has time.
Yeah.
Ask him which minifigure is going to come out of the Lego minifigure machine. Okay? There's not that many of them. There are multiple different choices. You're mocking our hypocrisy. Okay, Mr. Hypocrisy mocking guy. Ask God which one is going to come out. If he gets it right, then I might start to be convinced. He has about 21 different choices or 22 different choices in here. So if he can tell us which minifigure will come out of here, which he should be able to do because he knows everything, right? Ask him which one. Here we go. We'll turn the wheel now. Now I'm not going to tell you which one's in here because God has to know.
I just got like great flashbacks from sitting with you at BajaCon and hearing that text message ringtone all weekend long.
Mario coin.
Yeah.
Well, Ken, which minifigure is in this ball here? And no, it's not Pikachu. Yeah, Neil's risking his atheism by a 1 in 20 chance. Yeah. So ask God which one's in here. He would know. Dear God, tell me what's in Neil's balls. Not much these days.
Oh, man.
Of course you're not going to ask God such a thing because you know why? He's not fucking real and he ain't going to give you an answer. That's why.
Yeah. But if you couldn't find your keys, you'd probably take the time to ask him, though.
Well, which one is it?
Which minifigure was it, Neil?
Let's see.
Because right now, the only person who knows is God, apparently.
That's right.
And the people at Lego.
Yeah. Oh, look. There's a flat Earth map. Oh, it's the adventurer lady. Yep, little blonde adventurer lady.
She better be careful because the Catholic Church might put her in jail for what she believes.
That's right, and all the little pieces in there. You know, let me put you this way. We've been talking a lot about morals today, folks.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking that it's God that hands down these morals and stuff like that, and that's what's keeping you from going out and harming other people, then please keep believing in God. Okay? Because if that's what's keeping you from being a shitty human, we got enough shitty humans down our neighbors next door. Lots of them are pretty fucking shitty right now. But anyway, then please keep believing.
Yeah. But on a high note, Skeptic Haven hits 3,500 subscribers. So yeah, good news there.
3,500 plus subscribers.
Yeah,
that's
man.
amazing. Bravo.
Good job, everybody, and thank you to all the people
Almost caught up
backstage as
to
well.
me.
West and everybody. Oh, Neil, I'm trying to put a nice cap on the end of this thing. And
well, if it helps, I've been hovering around the same number for years now. So
okay. Hey, does Skeptic Haven have a Patreon, Neil?
I believe they do. As a matter of fact, we got lots of members in Patreons. Big shout out to all of our amazing patrons: Paul Cammish, Karen Butcher, HellsBells, Logan Fisher, Amanda McLeod, Jamie West, Sydney Davis Jr., Eric Ozels, Tara S., Rion, who happens to be in the chat. Thanks, Rion. D. Murphy, Dan D., Shannon Gray, Michael Wiseman, Bass Thrasher, Bryce Roney, Jenna Miu, Deborah Grace, Sunny Shell, and Phil Calderone. And our members include Cynthia McDonald, Kelley Laughlin, Tons of Mice, who's also in the chat. Thanks, Tons. And Logan Fisher and Angela. Yeah, I think we had some wonderful calls tonight. A couple of them were pretty close to having my steam come out of my ears, but
I mean, if I had to like, if we want a show to be a perfect gradient of like, starting off gently with polite callers and things, and then slowly working our way up to the most absurd, I would say this was like a perfect show. This is this is a fantastic time,
Jason.
despite you being here.
Wait, what does that mean?
You call me Jason. I don't know why you call me Jason.
I said thanks, Jason, because you said fantastic show tonight in the chat.
Oh! I thought you were calling me Jason.
No, I know what your name is. It's Fred.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve. I'm just calling everybody fucking Steve tonight, apparently.
Oh man, yeah. No, I've had a great time. This has been a great show. I want to thank Skeptic Haven for inviting me out again, and for Neil for putting up with me. It was awesome.
I'll always put up with you, bud, especially now that you're a Lego fanatic like me.
Yeah.
See that, folks, right there? That's Soundwave he just put together.
Yeah.
Of course, he was missing one piece that just happens to be part of Soundwave's testicles, but that's okay. He'll get that in the mail pretty soon.
You saying my Soundwave has no balls?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he's got a huge laser beak.
Ooh, and on that note, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. You guys are part of why the show is awesome. I also hope that some callers call back in so I can yell at them again. I mean, so we can have some some calm discussions. Till then, everyone, see you guys next time.
Bye.
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.